when I was about this small, I decided that I wanted to help save the planet. I was one of those kids that would tear off the label off the tea bag and then put it in the waste paper and then think, where do I put the staple? So I also really liked the idea of becoming a comedian, but I ignored that and I went to university to learn how to help save the environment, save the planet. And about 10 years later, in a master's degree, many classes, books, a PhD degree, I became an environmental psychologist. Several research projects. I found myself sitting in a room at a computer, and I felt that I wasn't really helping to save the planet. And then something happened. In a farm north of Amsterdam, I took part in a masterclass for transition management that was organized, by the way, by an ex-colleague from the Drift Institute, which is right here at the Erasmus University. And in the masterclass, it was January 2009, over dinner we discussed the crisis and our shock when talented people around us and friends lost jobs. And one of us, one participant, Lian Fo, she said, imagine all of us would lose their jobs and we'd simply live. And something happened inside me. I felt these happy hormones and I thought, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. You know, I like the idea of getting up in the morning and going out and doing what I'm good at, doing what I enjoy doing, and then, you know, and then society takes care of me too. So she appealed to a very personal longing inside of me. And the next day, I wrote out a promise to myself and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to simply live without a job. And all these ideas came into my mind. Then I can work for him and do that with her and help her with the project. And so I was all inspired and I went home and I told my boyfriend. And he said, oh, great. That's quite decadent. You're going to live off your savings for a year. Well, I said, well, I'm not going to let you pop my balloon. This is not about money. You know, anyone can do this, with or without money. And, well, all right, I'll do it without then. I'll prove it to you. So let's observe what happened. We have the pre-boyfriend conversation, sabbatical, you know, that we're all kind of familiar with. And then we have the post-conversation, crazy idea. And I knew it was a crazy idea. So I said to myself, you know, calm down. Take a couple of months to see if the idea sticks. And it did. After half a year, it was mid-2009, I was still thrilled. I had found my Mount Everest that I wanted to climb. So I went ahead, and within half a year, I arranged a set of 7 barter deals for food and for staying in my apartment, for going out to dance, for having a workspace. And throughout 2010, my bank balance remained stable without an income coming in. I love adventure. I love adventure. I'm also a very thorough person, and I enjoy my projects most if I get to prepare them meticulously. So I drafted a letter. I had it proofread by 3 of my friends whose creative writings I very much appreciate. It was a letter to my projected barter partners. I got my favorite stationery, and I invented a whole new concept of the CV, added it to the letter, and I sent it out to the barter partners, and then I would call them up and see if they were willing to see me and have a discussion with me. And to my great surprise, most of them said yes. Even a big company like Eneco, the energy supplier, said, okay, we'll supply you with a year's gas and electricity, and you will do a research project for us that will help us market our green products. And then there was Maaike with her organic store. It's my local organic store, and I asked her if we could barter something, and she was a bit taken aback, and she said, I'm sorry, she's really nice, you know. So when she said no, I thought, what's going on? And she said, I have to operate on such a tight budget. I can't afford this. And then I thought, oh, I have to do some extra explaining. So I baked a cake, went over, we sat down for coffee, and I explained to her that I was not interested in, you know, what would be fair, or, you know, in the world out there, that I was only interested in what she and I would want to share with each other, and what she would be interested in. And so the fairness, you know, the two of us had to decide on that. And what we ended up doing was this. We installed a coffee corner every Saturday morning in her store. And that was something that I'd been sort of dreaming about for a couple of years, so I was super happy that we could do that. I made one big exception, and that was with healthcare. I had at that time a 3-year-old son, and I did approach an insurance company, a health insurance company, and they turned me down, and I decided I'm not going to put my health at risk or my son's health, so that is one point where money is going to flow from my account to the health insurance. The last letter I sent out was to the tango school, because I thought, you know, I need more than just food and shelter. I need to be able to dance. And they also said, you know, we'll think of something, just keep coming to the milongas, we love to have you there. And so that was it, and then it was New Year's Eve, and I had a wonderful day, because the Dutch Financial Times, het Financieel Dagblad, had printed a letter that I'd send in to them in a response to a call of them, what is your career opportunity in crisis year 2009? So I thought, oh, let's write a letter about, you know, working without money for 1 year, and I was very proud. And obviously, I wasn't going to write text messages for a year, so in the afternoon, I splurged out this long text message to all my friends. And then when it was midnight, I wrapped up my wallet in the newspaper and sealed it with gaffer tape. And then it was 2010. So, what is life like? People ask me, what is it like to live without money? At first I thought, oh, I'll probably be lonely and feel excluded, and where can I still go if I don't have money to spend? And I found out that because I was working together in all these small projects with all these people, that my life was more social than ever before or after that year. And for instance, to make up for not going to restaurants, I would cook every Thursday for friends. And, you know, every week a different set of people would show up, and they'd bring the drinks and dessert. And, you know, my kitchen transformed into a salon-like place where people like to come and eat and drink and discuss. And if I ever needed, this was one zoete inval, one dinner on the roof. If I even needed anything in particular, I'd send out an email to my network in Rotterdam explaining my request. For instance, Max was 3 and he was learning how to cycle, so I wanted to get him a bike. And I would always get what I needed. The tango salons were important, by the way, in the social aspect, because I, you know, now worked for them. I flyered around town to market their classes and their milongas, and I felt almost like a special guest coming to the milongas, and I became more loyal to them than ever. I also bartered for a workplace. The Hub is a co-working space for people who are into sustainable development, and this is their garden. But the Hub came to play a key role, because before my year I had never really thought about what money is, and then coincidentally the Hub screened the film Money as Debt, which is a documentary about the money system, and this world opened up for me about what money is, and that there are all kinds of, you know, critical people thinking about it and alternatives to money. And my jaw dropped. Not so much because of the facts that were presented in the film, but much more because of my own naivety. I had lived and worked in this system for all my life, at least for all my working life, and I didn't know. I didn't know how it worked. I thought that you take your savings to the bank and then someone else can come and make a loan and work with that. I don't know, you know, you are students from the Erasmus University, you know, you have great affinity to business, but, you know, look at your neighbor and you can ask each other to, who knows? Who knows how the money system works? Because I didn't. You can, maybe you want to interview each other after the talk. Mind you, I didn't start my year because I was critical about money. I started it just because I wanted to be even freer in choosing the work that I did. People ask me, did you ever want to give up? Well, in fact, I did. In the middle of the year, I was invited by friends to come along to Berlin, and I've lived in Berlin for a while, so I have friends there too. I came along and I was there, but I had no barter deals there. So I did go to 2 organic stores and explained them my experiment, and they gave me some food, and I felt so vulnerable, and I felt excluded and dependent on my friends. And I realized that I had come to a limit of what I was willing to do and to experience. And after about 2 days of deliberation, I said, okay, this is where it stops. I went to this cash machine, took a picture, got out some money, and bought ice cream for my friends. And when I came back to the Netherlands, I picked up where I left off. And as the year proceeded, in the beginning, I had been very reluctant to tell people what I was doing because I thought, oh God, you know, they'll think I'm a crazy woman, I'm a freak, living without money, what's she doing? And I noticed that I was sharing my story, which I was, of course, all the time because I, you know, was doing things together with all these people and relying on my network. I realized that people were inspired and enthusiastic and curious. How do you do this? And they seemed somehow relieved and happy that apparently there was a way around money and that money is no must. So I became more and more happy and confident to share my story. And then it was the end of the year, and New Year's Eve came again, and I went back to that farm where I had first gotten inspired, where the transition management masterclass had taken place. And we had a beautiful ceremony with lots of yoga and tango, and the next day, Max helped me unwrap my wallet, and I was allowed to go out again and to spend money. And it was really odd, and I didn't like it very much at first. And I missed my barter deals because I had grown used to and I'd grown appreciative of being dependent on these people that I knew. And a friend of mine calls it an economy of relationships, and my own tiny economy of relationships had really given me this feeling of existential security. Since then, 3 years have passed, and I've developed my own business, and I make a living out of it. And that's a direct effect of me trying myself out in that year. And in that year, I gave up spontaneous coffee and cake sessions. I gave up traveling to anywhere. I gave up run shopping. I gave up choosing my own perfume. And I got what I wanted. I now have work that helps save the planet. And I got more, because I was working together with all these people and tried myself out, you know, from running a coffee corner in an organic store to, you know, writing, being a consultant for a big firm, and working with all these people and interacting with them. That really boosted my confidence, because I knew what I liked and what I didn't like, and I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do. And I find now that I never really much worry about my career or where it's going, because I'm confident that I will keep on moving towards interesting challenges. And therefore, I want to recommend it to all of you. You don't have to do what I did, but take a while off, be it a year or a week or a month, and do what you really want to do, and work with the people that you like and who inspire you. And I will promise you that you will be up for interesting serendipical lessons and personal growth. And by doing so, by moving without worrying about your career or about money, you also do something else. You also contribute to the rest of us. And I quote Manfred Max Neef, who says, "The economy is there to serve the people and not the other way around." If you start moving and doing what you are inspired, you will help to do just that, and you will create an economy where we do the work that needs to be done, and we create new things, and an economy that serves us. Thank you.